I said Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. I said Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. I never picked the Piper, but I did it better. I'm a fresh fucking cucumber. You can keep your pickled pepper. Listen, I pipe Peter and eater. Nibble? Never. Galactus. The way I devour. You're done in 20. I keep going for an hour. I have spirit. You niggas, more false social power. Protagonist, programmed patiently. Paused blatantly. I'm the antithesis of complacency. I'm like a squatter to a vacancy. Vaginal. In their vernacular. Nigga, I'm spectacular. I'm like a bitch with a fat ass. Big dick energy from back to front. I'm a chameleon. I could be whatever you want. I change colors crazy, coding cerebellums, consciously creating. And I've never been sorry to keep you niggas waiting. I'm technical with this lesson. Call it Tekken. I'm prompt like 3 p.m. Airbnb check-in. I'm wrecking robbing ranch-coated roaches with Eurocentric rooted brooches. And I ride raw fucking horseback. No stage coaches. Mystical with this. Above mage or magician, akin to the wizard Craig and Avery. After all, my ancestors created multiplication and addition. So you pythons and lizards can keep your Pythagorean. We already got our own theorems. Excuses? Let's hear them. Because we're not equals. You didn't even watch the first one, yet you're looking forward towards the sequels? I raise conscious with my stylish sequence, taking me and my people to a higher frequency. You're listening to 102.3. Fuck you. Pay me. Used to have my pockets full of sand and coal. Like, some of you niggas that still watch the Super Bowl, I don't like you imposter niggas. The fix your posture niggas. The fake rich, real impoverished niggas. The bad relationship with mommy niggas. The real champagne poppy niggas. See, I'm that bitch and that nigga. I don't smoke your cigs or drink your liquor. So you can have gangrene while you're hanging with Benson and the Grouch. Stay with the trash. I'll be puffing ganja on my couch. I'm a dedicated student. A patient study. I was taught we don't just leave them bloody, we get them real muddy, buddy. The Dookie paved the way. The Papa, if you will. A wise person once said truth is a hard pill to swallow, especially when you follow trans masses, sheeps looking for the check stipe pens. I don't use pencils. More of a fan of the pens. Dick, pussy, well, it depends. I stay surrounded by community. You know, the friends. You niggas more big asocial crowds like the Bends. I specialize. I don't just dibble dabble. You dibble dabble in dialectical drum and rabble. I, a rather ravishing raven, flying, while you basement dwelling niggas still on hentai haven. I'm animated. 38% Nigerian created. West side on that Isan, Abibio, and Ebo. I'm the hottest yet untouchable, like I'm Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You pale to my trilogy with your singular internalized white fragility. I'm not just capable, unlimited capabilities, ready to absorb like the sponge. You niggas more Squidward, too cynical. I'm the foundation, very pinnacle. How y'all niggas out here gonna eat some dirty ass, but flinch when it comes to eating a tentacle? Tempted, more than a temptation. You're looking tasty, taking turns tongue tickling the tip. You're good, but allegations I received for having DSL lips. I mean, they ain't wide, but they's fluid hips. I'm a fluid trip, psychedelic with my potency. Intimidated by my intimacy with consent, I'm giving it to you straight like Jodeci. Upgrading. while you niggas stay in the platonic. I teleport, fuck the Flash and supersonic. I transmit your transgressions instantly. You and I and you, disproportionate like marginal propensity. Yet I always consume, delivering onomatopoeias like kaboom, sishing the problematic sis that have a problem with my good sis. Oh yeah, all you ops can get screwed on this kebab. I don't need to further elaborate. Deceiving you NPCs, making you think we could negotiate. Decepticons dunking on you Autobots. Hey, don't get mad. You said we were Transformers. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I guess we're all just performers.
This is Fontez. Mind over matter, I've got resilience. There's so many things that don't make sense in this life, but I see the brilliance of God. You watching The Spotlight, Cluster TV.
Welcome back to another episode of The Spotlight on Cluster TV. I'm so happy to be your host for today. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy to have you as my guest for today. A joyous being. How are you feeling?
I feel gratitude. I feel supreme
Pull the mic
gratitude.
closer.
Supreme gratitude for being here, and I'm thankful to be in your energy.
Thank you. Thank you. How did you get the name A Joyous Being?
So at Who Wanna Fuck, Duke was like, you need to have like a poetry name, like a performing name.
Okay.
I think I went by Joyous or something like that at one point, but with A Joyous Being, it is an alter ego that I feel is connected to source, in the sense that I genuinely choose joy. And I think all people do. And I think that the more we embrace that, the better off we be. And when I am a joyous being, that is what I would say is the bridge to my highest version of myself through my creativity.
Okay. Ooh, I like that. Joy is a big part of your being. When did that become, or when did that put itself in the forefront?
I would say when I was creating. I started writing poetry in 6th grade, and that was a very tumultuous time in my life. I was getting bullied, and it allowed me to attain joy, which I believe is like a state of being. I stopped writing where I lost that joy in the process of not writing, and it was kind of an on and off experience. But I would say now, presently, like December of 2025, when I first got introduced to Who Wanna Fuck in that community, including yourself, that is where like I really found joy as it exists presently in my life.
Okay.
Now.
I like that. You said you stopped writing. So how long was your stop writing period?
6th grade to 12th grade.
Okay.
And then my grandmother passed away in 2020, September the 6th, and we had a like performing class, like it was like musical theater, and we had a writing poetry unit. So I wrote a piece to help process the grief that I was experiencing then I stopped again, started again my 10th grade or sophomore year of college, and then I was kind of in the poetry scene in Atlanta for a little bit in 2022. Then I stepped away until 2025, and here we are.
Okay. I like that. I'm happy that you came back, and I'm happy I get to experience it. What is your inspiration behind your pieces?
I would say, if I had to coin it in a term, I would say intersectional collective liberation. At least with the poetry that I do now, especially like from December to present, a lot of what I create is for the most marginalized, whether that be Black folk, whether that be queer folk, trans folk, whether that be anti-capitalistic, whether that be pro-matriarchy or pro-indigenous land stewardship methods and things of that nature. It really is for the people. I do create my poetry for myself, but it is for us, for we. And I kind of talk about the pronouns for myself in a very political sense, because I don't go by any pronouns per se. I quite literally am a chameleon in that sense. But if I had to pick one in a very spiritual and political sense, I would say we, because all the things I do at the end of the day, in terms of the long-term intentions, it is for we, my people of the Black African diaspora, and especially for femmes, for Black women, because I would not be who I am without them.
None of us would be who we are without the Black woman.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. Oh, you talk about liberation in your pieces. What was your introduction into, I guess, liberation?
Ooh. I would say, in terms of life experience, my mom.
Okay.
Even though at the times that I observed her when I was a child, I was taught what liberation didn't look like in some aspects, but
Okay.
what also liberation did look like in others. I think that there was a certain level of vulnerability that my mom
Mhm.
had with me as a child, especially being the oldest in my household, to
Okay.
where I kind of got to see the full just spectrum of emotions that planted the seeds of liberation in my own mind, to be
Okay.
able to just be myself, to just be able to feel the things that I'm feeling without internalized
Mhm.
um things that are antithetical to that, and like feelings that invalidate that. Because I think especially for people that are assigned like male at birth, you're
Mhm.
told, especially if you're black, that you need to be tough, you shouldn't cry, you shouldn't do those things. And like I had not one but like two debbie dads, if you will, both biological and
Okay.
step. So my mom was holding it down on both
Mm.
sides, and I think to have that type of energy in my life at such a young age helped give me the foundation towards being more acceptant to different radical queer feminist theory, different
Mhm.
works that are anti-racist, anti-capitalist, that allowed me to like get the information and the deconstruction and decolonization that I needed to get to where I'm at now in
Mhm.
terms of the liberation mindset that I have and put into my art.
Yes. I think you are very knowledgeable on these things because I be talking to you sometimes and I'm like, I have no clue what's going on. And you're giving me the knowledge. So you're great on that front. I thank you. Um, what or how did you come to figure out poetry was your avenue, your lane?
I think that when I realized that I wasn't writing, it was source writing through me.
Okay.
And I think I really had to acceptance it with that. And like even recently I had like a very traumatic like situation happen to me, and even
Mhm.
within that traumatic situation I was writing poetry. um I think that it is one of the most underappreciated art forms, but I also believe that it is one of the most radical art forms,
Mhm.
um, if not the most radical, because it's truth. It's, to me, Afro-Indigenous tradition of
Okay.
oration, of
Yeah.
speaking these things into existence, into the ether, into the manifestation sphere for others to then absorb. I think that being in these like poetry spaces, whether I'm sharing poetry or receiving poetry, you can feel the spirit, you can feel the energy, you can feel the ancestors. And I think that it's a beautiful tradition that I probably haven't done or have done before in
Okay.
past lives, if you will, or through my ancestors. And I think that it's a tradition that I will continue until the day that I die, because every time I do poetry, I'm reminded of the people that need to hear it.
Okay. No, yes, even in your name, you're doing it for the we and not just for yourself. I like that. I'm excited to get into your next piece. Do you want to preface it before you start?
This piece is I wrote it when I was mad at black men that promote patriarchy and capitalism at the same time. And yeah, that's, I guess, the only purpose I have for it.
Okay. Okay. Before we get into, well, does it have a title?
Three-piece participant.
Three-piece participant.
But before we get to hear this next piece, I want to give a quick shout out to Wit Media, the creative director and videographer for the Spotlight. If you need your vision to come to life, he can make it happen. So make sure you hit up Wit Media. Now, let's get to the poem.
Say, black boy, say, man, what you mean, black? This be a letter to the black men who still think the suit can save you. More often, the same who think Jesus' murder forgave you. With that suit on, your transgressions become crucified. We don't know who's wearing who. Capitulating, capitalizing on capital capitalism. They don't call you a nigga with the capitals. You just wear it for the capital. Capital crazed coons, crumbing crumbs, leading all the way back to the capital. Calcified, conniving crimes, captive to your own sins. They go beyond capital. You in the system so long you think you a pro now. Can't even respect these dolls' pronouns. Bad manner ass nigga. Taking it to the face. Oh, you don't pour now? Material wealth, but you poor now. In spirit, is evident by the ones who refuse to hear it. When you who screams a silent scream where no one else but you can hear it. trying to give you the keys to salvation, but you're the only one that fears it. Contained in a cloth to uphold the illusion of being prim and proper, you be new age laborer, modern day sharecropper. All tucked in, proper and prim. You think you be in bowl? Little shit, no. You be in forever proximity on rim. I'm him. No, you, them. Revealing your politics, your peeling. The horror of this betrayal has got me reeling. Caught you on a hook you not even feeling. Wonder why you can't start healing. Chasing a destination that was made with no ceiling. Running in this never-ending race. You be rat with suit on. You think you chameleon, but you be cat. You try to wear it for the cat. Newsflash, we never made that. It's no mistake it's seen as the pinnacle of professional. When you wear it, it be a broadcasting status quo confessional. You indulge in the Eurocentric style. So Uncle Tom asks you to stay a while. You oblige, as long as the cash stays flowing. Needless to say, staying under master supervision means you ain't growing. You project giant to hide the fact you've never been taught to be defiant. So you stay perpetually trapped in a loop, compliant. Then weaponize suppression on femmes, saying no one time they can't be reliant. Job opportunity you don't get, so you retie. Confidence you build to retry. On masses tools you rely, and that job nor that black woman you get reply. So ego has to re-die, and that little voice in head has to why. But little birdie sees crumb on lap, and that's your re-why. You want to fuck that canary in a coal mine, so you say, fuck that canary in a coal mine. As long as I get mine, thinking investing in hyper-individualism will be just fine. Married to colonizer, to exploit self to help pay the way, to protect and provide. Putting big on outside but small on inside because no one you could truly confide. So you run, but you can't hide. And in the end, system becomes refortified. Mr. Three-piece suit. Still seen as three pieces of human. 2/5 you discarded yourself by yourself to uphold an imaginary binary. By now, you think bygones would be bygones, but you busy bought into bygones that beat us. Black, blue make us bygone. Wish you learned your lesson by now, but you bought into those bygones that tell you to buy now. Buy now, you with them bygones beat us. Black, blue bygones, stay with them, we not gonna stop you. You dare preach respectability politics wearing that suit, we gon' drop you. Martin and Malcolm became a threat. You think they gon' waste bullets trying to pop you? And shit, after all this, you think you the poppy. Shh. Be very quiet. I'm hunting wabbits. So you go bunny hoppy, colluding with the coffee cream. It seems that hating black women makes you all the perfect team. She mad. She can't have the thickness of coffee black. You confused why black women don't want you. It's the intersectional collective consciousness lack. You defend this system. Well, it's time to attack. With suit on, with our skin, it's as good as potato sack. Because you don't have to be masses nigga. Because under the scope of white violence, we all look the same when finger is on trigger. Nigga. Peace.
Oh my goodness.
And guys, what a powerful piece right there. Go ahead and comment down below which line touched you the most. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we have more episodes of The Spotlight coming up. Now back to the show.
I'm dying. Because even in the dark, she be shining. Showing me her many phases with ease. Willing to please and be pleased. She be my moon mommy.
And you are watching The Spotlight on Cluster TV.
You know, I'm going to applaud you again because your memory, your enthusiasm, I feel like that wasn't the word I was looking for, but your just the performance of the piece itself is so amazing. So thank you. Thank you. Can you put us a little bit in your mindset when you were writing this piece. When did you write this piece?
I want to say 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Oh, okay.
I was very annoyed at Black men that still perpetuate these systems, especially through like assimilation and capitulation towards Eurocentric ideals of professionalism. And we see it a lot with our politicians. They'll wear suits. Andre Dickens is a great example of this. They'll wear suits to try to be like, well, I'm on your side. But in reality, they are mirroring our oppressors. And I think that the suit emblematically is a very symbolic representation of that, because it didn't originate in the continent of Africa. Now, that's not to say that we didn't make hybrids from our traditional cultures and tribes that remix the suit in a lot more Afrocentric ways, but that is to say that the suit came from Europe. And on top of that, as we exist in this capitalistic society, it's used as the pinnacle of professionalism. And why is that when it just promotes white supremacy? So I think that Black men that choose to wear a suit to capitulate towards capitalism and towards being an employer or this capitalist business owner or whatever endeavors they're trying to pursue, they're just perpetuating the same harm that our oppressors are dishing on us. And they typically, more often than not, have the patriarchy, the misogyny, the transphobia, the homophobia, and all the things that follow that. So that was kind of like a piece in response to that, and like saying that this is, it's not okay.
Oh yeah, it's not okay. It's when talking about capitalism and I guess moving forward with your ideals for community and like creating a safer space for humans. I'm sorry. When talking about capitalism and mixing it with creating spaces that are safer, what do you think the middle ground looks like? Is there a middle ground?
It's more of like a yes and. I think that in the past a lot of our liberation movements and ideas for building community have failed because as a people, and not speaking towards Black people as a monolith, sometimes we find ourselves looking for one solution. I think even in the city, we look at the two-party electoral system as a solution, even on the local level, when our candidates are likely either Israeli sympathizers or just identity politic people that may have a trans or Black label, and it's like, oh, vote for them over the Republicans. And it's the same story for the past 100 and some change years since we got the vote, which we didn't have because we were seen as not human under the legal system of this colonial empire that we still live in to this day. So I say that all to say that there is a lot of trauma that comes with that, because I don't demonize people that look towards the two-party system or look towards capitalism or look towards assimilating into this unnatural culture, because of the fact that we respond to our trauma in a lot of different ways. And with that being said, as a people, we need to develop different systems to help us rehabilitate, because the prisons and the psychiatric institutions are not viable, especially for Black males and Black women. It's not viable for Black people in general. They don't talk about the trauma that we have stored in our DNA. They don't talk about our neurospiciness or our talents in ways that are empowering. They talk about it as if they're illnesses, when in reality they're responses to the neurotypical society that we refuse to live in. But I say that all that to say, like, specifically in Atlanta, like, if I had to like pinpoint it to like one specific thing, we need to have a community town hall. I think that's one of the first things. And Bambi, who is over Love Essence Coalition, which is an international coalition combining a lot of decentralized institutions and community organizations to band together against these systems of domination, whether that be patriarchy, capitalism, white supremacy, etc. We've been talking about this in community because we need to have a town hall to air out our grievances, because a lot of the reasons we can't come together is because people are too egoic, people are too prideful. Oh, I don't like this person in community, they did this, they did that. What are we going to do when ICE agents are attacking us and trying to arrest us or kill us? Are we going to kill for each other? Are we going to intervene if someone is trying to harm our people? Because we are all we've got. And that's not to say that people shouldn't be held to justice, especially if they've done harm in community, but I'd rather try to watch out for someone that has been under the same international genocide that we of the Black diaspora have experienced, versus one of my oppressors. And that's not to say that people can't be held accountable for the internalized things that they have within them, but again, how can we rehabilitate people outside of
Mhm.
these systems? I think that's the most important thing, because we're also fucked up. And that's okay. It's okay to not be okay, but we genuinely need to talk and be vulnerable with each other if we want to move forward
Yeah.
and build something that actually has structure, substance, and purpose, not just for us now, but especially for the folks that come after us.
Yes. We were talking about that earlier, building things and implementing things for the people that are coming after us, because it's not just us. Like, while we are very much in the present, there is a future ahead, I guess. What steps are you taking personally?
Expanding my skill repertoire.
Okay.
So I grow food. I also sell fully repotted plants that are mulched with my friend and community Sunbody.
Okay.
And that is to help pretty much replace the privatized industrial food system that we live in, especially in Atlanta, especially with the
Mhm.
food desert that exists on the west side, especially in the West End. And really just informing the community about the resources that are available. I also bake from scratch, so I don't use like
Yes.
store-bought
I
flour.
still gotta try your sourdough.
You do. I mill my own flour as a ways of kind of going against the fact that people are like, oh, the gluten is not good for me. Like, it's the way that they're processing the flour and the way that they've been
Yes.
doing it since like the 1800s, because they give it longer shelf life by taking the nutrients and ultra processing it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am also organizing community in my own way in terms of like opening a third space, kind of open mic
Okay.
type of scene where we can talk about some of these more radical things and hold space for each other, share resources. I've been compiling a ton of resources that anyone can ask me on any of my platforms. AJoyousBeing on all platforms. I have things to download your music off of Spotify. I have
Okay.
things where you can get flights out of the country
Hmm.
for as low as like $120, whether you want to leave forever or whether you want to visit. Because being in this culture is extremely harmful for everyone. Everybody needs a break. Um, but just a
Yeah.
lot of things. I really do wear so many hats. And
Hey.
there's a lot of things that I want to say off the camera as well that are extremely important, but I'll leave that
Okay.
for right now.
Okay. I like that. Is there anything else you want to shout out before we get into your last piece?
Yes, I want to shout out
I like it. You came prepared. You gotta
Love Essence
remember.
Coalition once again. If you're a farmer, if you're indigenous or black or of color, tap in with them on Instagram. They're doing a lot of things in community. Mother's House, please tap in with them as well. They feed people. They're a hoodoo house of light and shadows. And Poetry for the Soul, want to shout them out. That was the place that allowed me to be reborn within my
Okay.
own poetry, trap and poetry, and intersectional collective universal liberation. Those are like my biggest shout outs for right now. And I want to shout out my mom because I would not be here without her.
Go mama. I like that. Do you want to preface your last piece, or you
I
want to get
can.
into it?
This piece is very, very near and dear to me. This is called Panopticon. And I wrote this at the time where I was still working in like a capitalist mode of production job, and I hated it. And we had this camera that would sit in front of like my computer where I would work at the front desk, and
Whoa.
it would create this illusion that I'm always being watched, because not someone's
Mhm.
not always there on the camera, but like when you least expect it,
Yeah.
someone's there. And like my bosses were like white, so it's just like a whole lot of like cognitive dissonance while also seeing all the things that were happening in the world at the time, and just like this feeling of being watched at all times. Like I truly like felt that so energetically during that period of time, especially living in
Mhm.
Atlanta. Atlanta is the most surveilled
Yeah.
city in the world right now.
Whoa.
It's disgusting.
I believe that.
So with that being said, this is called Panopticon.
Okay. Before we get into Jordan or Joyce Being's last piece, I want to shout out Fawn Moore Photography. He's been doing all the photography for the Spotlight this season, and it's truly amazing. Like, I look so good because he's so good. So if you want to look good like me, follow Fawn Moore Photography on Instagram. This is Panopticon. I remember the title this time. Panopticon by A Joyous Being.
Watching me, watching me, watching me, watching me, watching me, watching me, watching me. The panopticon creates the illusion of being watched at all times to deter crimes. The camera previously the manager, before that the overseer, has the same effect on me. Me, working with a wage labor's industrious vigor, but that camera stays steady trained, locked on my dome like I'm a sneaky no good. They keep watching me. I ain't got no bars to this cage. No place to put this unfiltered rage. My work supervised by surveillance to assist me in making an unlivable wage. I've been trying to get out, but see, my captors aren't on the same page. See, freedom ain't the capitalist control panopticons deal. I mean, for real. Yet, they have the audacity to use the language of we. We? Or do my eyes deceive me? There's no we, be, you just see me. Me. Do all the work in the world, but you stay watching me, watching me, watching me, watching me, watching me, watching me, watching me. Before I leave to sacrifice my invaluable time for the petty dime, I wake up surrounded by screams within screams, children and teens looking, begging for genocidal relief through any means. Within these devices pinpointed on my every position, poison, thoroughly entrenched into our nutrition, atrocities multiplied. We're no longer doing addition. Tracking every transaction, surveillance weighing over me like an improper fraction, lurking, waiting, watching, perching. Can't even drive to work in peace, man. Y'all boring so hard you got me breaking and lurching, and I just want some solitude. A reprieve from this immorally legalized breach in my privacy. Will there ever be a break? Shit, I don't know how much more I can take. I'm gonna build me aluminum foil compound. That's right. Keep all the satellites out, where no one can hear me scream or shout, but can't have a TV in there though, because DirecTV? Am I watching it or is it watching me, man? I don't really know. Can't even trust my phone. It was the very first drone monitoring us, keeping us on the same beat like metronome. And it's bad enough I have to work to never truly live, as it was evident from the beginning you never wanted me to thrive. Just working me as long as I'm alive, and you somehow still make it even worse to survive, because you stay watching me, watching me, watching me, watching me, watching me, watching me, watching me. I can't even take a stroll down the street or go to the store for a sweet treat. Cameras locked on my location. What is this? Excuse me, miss. What is with this fixation? Is this black body threatening to you, or is this just part of our taxation? You got better oversight than God looking at their creations, and I just want you to mind your business. Because your looking is loud, hovering above me like a cumulonimbus cloud, thunderstorms awaiting if I do anything that's not allowed. Employing my brothers, sisters, and siblings into 21st century slave wage labor, but simultaneously fiending and fetishizing over our flavor. And after 400 years, you still want us to call you neighbor? Shit. Hello? No, they watching. I call you back later. Damn, can I get that? Democracy and equality and privacy. You busy watching me, watching me. You still blind, baby, as you neglect to see the drugs and weapons still in my community. ICE killing and stealing my community. Forever threatened by our unity. And you keep saying that I'm free. And you keep saying that I'm free. And you keep saying that I'm free, busy watching me. That's that piece.
That was great. That was great. They're going to keep watching you, you know, and you should keep watching us on the Spotlight. That has been this episode. I'm sorry. Too many words. That has been this episode of The Spotlight. If you are on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, send this to your friend, send it to your mama. You know, I'm Dime. Until the next episode, keep being great.
It's the shit you been missing. Super Saiyan with a vision, quick like instant transmission. Try to talk, never listen. It's free to pay attention. Spirit gun ammunition, taking shots with precision. It's JT the Saiyan. Do you dig what I'm saying?
Is that the formula to this day?
Yeah, that's the formula to this day. Find B. Oh, and that's how I figured it out. I was like, so this is how I get you guys to hear me. You guys want the music in the background?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that works for you. Whatever floats your boat, as long as you hear my voice.
What's the impact that you hope to leave with your music and with your art?
I don't ever want people to go through what I've been through already. If I've already suffered and went through the pain, why should you? So I like to try to share, what I've been through to give people advice at all times. Of course, sometimes people are hard-headed, they hurt themselves, but sometimes people do need the advice. So with my music, I like to help people be the true selves, avoid any unnecessary pain, or, have someone be there for them while they're going through it, because I was alone, which made me write the music. JT the Saiyan every day, yeah, I'm praying. It's JT the Saiyan working day out and day in. You can't keep it a stack, then it's fuck what you saying. Life's a bitch, just never kissed a kid in a time, yeah, that's a sister. Always passing donor sister, fuck that bitch, just donor. Make the youth create again, these days you gotta play to win. Gotta pour to find the light, so Lord, please let it rain again.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Spotlight. If you would like to catch up on the back catalog, here is a playlist for you somewhere on the screen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with somebody else. And tune in next time for our next episode.